Imagine waking up to the metallic snip of your own backyard fence being cut like it's just another HOA errand by a woman who thinks her clipboard outranks the Constitution. That's how my nightmare started. Coffee still steaming in my mug as I watch from the kitchen window. Karen Beaumont, the self-crowned HOA enforcer of our suffocating suburb, waddled in with her bolt cutters gleaming like a badge of misplaced power. Her chubby frame squeezed into a vest that screamed authority but reeked of desperation. She'd been gunning for me ever since those whispers started, neighbors claiming my garden gnomes were eyesores and my compost bin a biohazard, all fueled by her gossip mill. I stayed silent, watching her parade around the cul-de-sac like a moral guardian, quoting bylaws with that fake sweet smile that hid her fear of losing her petty throne. "Mr. Harlan," she called out without looking up, her voice dripping with that condescending politeness. "This fence violates sightline ordinances. Article 12, Section B, must maintain unobstructed community views." I stepped out, barefoot on the dew-soaked grass, heart pounding but face calm. "Karen, that's my property line. Been there since before your HOA dreamed up those rules," she huffed, clipping another wire with a satisfying snap, her double chin jiggling like she was shaking off logic. Community standards supersede individual whims. We're building harmony here, not chaos. Harmony? In this neighborhood where mailboxes had to match Pantone shades or face fines. I bit my tongue, noting how her boots trampled my herb garden, crushing basil like it offended her sense of order. But silence wasn't surrender, it was strategy. That afternoon, after she slapped a violation notice on my door and drove off in her oversized SUV, I dusted off my old toolkit. Grandpa's stories about outsmarting bureaucrats echoed in my head, quiet revenge, served with a side of absurdity. I rigged a simple zapper under her favorite parking spot near my driveway. Nothing lethal, just a static shock tied to a motion sensor. Next morning, she returned, clipboard in hand, to inspect my non-compliant bird feeder. "This attracts vermin," she declared, pointing like a prosecutor at a sparrow. "Vermin? Like the rats in your rumor mill," I muttered under my breath. She ignored me, stepping right into the trap. Zap! Her yelp echoed like a cartoon character, hair frizzing as she hopped on one foot. "Electrical hazard," she screeched, but the neighbors peeking from curtains stifled laughs. "Maybe check your own violations first," I said evenly, handing her a mirror from my pocket. Her face turned beet red, a mix of rage and ridiculousness, as she stormed off mumbling about lawsuits. Things escalated when she rallied her troops, two khaki-clad HOA lackeys with sunglasses that screamed midlife crisis, pulling up in matching vans like a budget SWAT team. "Under review for safety infractions," Karen announced through a megaphone, her voice cracking with forced authority. They marched toward my gate, ignoring the private sign. "Gentlemen, this is trespassing," I warned, leaning on my rake like it was a scepter. One puffed up. "HOA jurisdiction overrides," but before he finished, my decoy sprinkler system activated, dousing them in pink-dyed water that smelled suspiciously like cheap perfume. Karen slipped on the wet grass, landing butt first in my flower bed, her vest now a soggy mess. "This is assault," she wailed, flailing like a beached whale. The lackeys backed off, one snickering. "Ma'am, maybe we should," but she cut him off with a glare that could wilt steel. "Document everything. We'll bury him in fines." As they retreated, dripping and defeated, I felt that first rush of satisfaction, the machine of control jamming on its own gears. The peak came when Karen dragged in a film crew, rebranding her crusade as a community expose on my rebellious yard. Cameras rolling. She pointed at my shed like it hid state secrets. "Non-approved structure," she proclaimed. But I'd upgraded, Motion-triggered confetti cannons loaded with biodegradable violation notices, quoting her own absurd rules back at her. Boom. Glitter exploded, coating her in sparkly irony. She froze, mouth agape, as her own voice boomed from hidden speakers. Harmony requires sacrifice of your freedom. The crew laughed outright, one muttering, "This is gold." Humiliated, she fled, ego shattered, the neighborhood chat exploding with memes of her glittery downfall. Weeks later, the HOA crumbled under scrutiny, petitions flew, her overreach exposed, and she slunk away, throne toppled. My yard stood untouched, a quiet victory of patience over power. But tell me, was bending a few rules to expose a tyrant justified? Or did I cross the line into her territory of absurdity? Drop your thoughts below. Who's the real villain in suburbia's scripted drama?